Hey guys, today we're going to talk about a specific type of TOEFL speaking interview question, which is completely open ended. In the prompt, you might see questions like, can you share one or two experiences that helped shape your personal goals? Or what factors do you think most affect people's happiness? Now, as you can see, these questions are very broad, and the prompt does not give you more details like something about your childhood or anything. There's no detail that helps you trigger your memory and come up with something. So it's very common to feel like you don't have any ideas. So what can we do in this situation? What we're going to do is to use our 3 reusable reasons again, which we've talked about in previous videos, to help us generate ideas. The reasons are feeling relaxed, learning new things, and interacting with other people. These are very flexible and you can apply them to almost any questions. So let's look at the first question again. Can you share one or two experiences that helped shape your personal goal? Now, personal goals is quite vague, right? So first you can define it using the 3 reasons. For example, maybe your personal goal is to feel more relaxed. Then you can think about an experience that led to this goal, such as a not so relaxing, a burned out experience. So a 45-minute sample can be something like this. One important experience that shaped my personal goal was when I experienced serious burnout at work last year. At that time, I was trying to do well in every subject, so I stayed up late almost every night, and I was so stressed. After that, I realized that pushing myself too hard was not sustainable. It was not good at all. So I began to focus more on maintaining a balanced lifestyle. I always made sure I got enough rest and managed my time better. Because of this experience, my personal goal now is to live a more relaxed and healthy life. I'm not about chasing achievement all the time anymore. You can use another reason like learning new things or interacting with others as your personal goal. So whenever you see something vague that you don't know how to define, you define it with the reasons that we provide. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What factors do you think most affect people's happiness? Again, happiness is very abstract. So you can define it using the same 3 reasons. For example, you can say again that feeling relaxed is the most important factor. I think one of the most important factors that affects people's happiness is whether they feel relaxed in their daily lives. For example, I used to worry about many things, such as my academic performance, my future career, which made me feel constantly stressed. However, after I started practicing meditation, everything improved. I gradually became more relaxed, and I also realized that many of my worries were not as serious as I had imagined. As a result, my overall mood improved significantly and I felt much happier, and that's why I believe feeling relaxed plays a key role in people's happiness. Now, are these always your real thoughts? Not necessarily, but that's okay. We're just using the 3 reasons to help us generate some ideas to start talking. The key point is you do have experiences, but during that test, it's really hard to think of them very quickly. So instead of just waiting for that idea to come out, you can use these 3 reusable reasons to trigger something and get going. And most of the time, as long as you start speaking, as long as you give some examples, you're actually performing better than you think. So now it's your turn. I'm going to play a very simple question, and you're going to answer it in 45 seconds. I've put the 3 reusable reasons right in front of you. You can use them and see whether you can get some inspiration. At least start talking.
Today, I'd like to ask you some questions about work-life balance. First, what factors do you think most affect people's work-life balance? Think about your own experience or people around you when answering. Why do you think these factors are important?
I think one of the most important factors that affect people's work life balance is having routines that help them feel more relaxed. For example, when I was at my first job, I was assigned a lot of tasks and I thought I had to complete everything perfectly. So I had a lot of stress. My life became extremely stressful. However, later I found a helpful YouTube video that taught me how to meditate at home. So after that, I started meditating after work, and it allowed me to reflect on what I had done during the day and what I could improve at work the next day. After each session, I felt more relaxed and I became more productive at work too. If you're taking the new TOEFL 2026 and want extra practice, timing, and scoring guides and updates as we collect more real results, there's a link below this video. Fill out the short form and I'll send them to you.